a Supra? Dude, is this a freaking Supra? Is that a Supra?
Yeah, I don't think that they'd be going so crazy about it if it hadn't been for the Fast and Furious movie. Hey guys, Stype here with a list of cars that owe their fame to Hollywood and action. Starting with the Aston Martin DB5, or as it's more commonly known as, the Bond car. Although 007 would drive a whole range of different stuff from BMWs to Lotuses and even other Astons, no other car is more associated with Mr. Bond than this tricked-out silver DB5. The moment it appeared on the screen and showed what it can do, everyone was like, yep, that's the one. This is also the reason why DB5 is the only car producers kept bringing back again and again. Hell, not even Daniel Craig would appear in as many movies as this Aston did. Now, you might argue that a classic car like this would be just as desirable even without the Hollywood fame, but I disagree. The DB4 and DB6 look almost exactly the same as the middle child, and yet, if you compare their market values, it is clear which one comes with the extra red carpet tax. And the bosses at Aston are all well aware of this too, which is why they decided to produce 25 more brand spanking new ones, with fully functioning gadgets and all. This here, for example, is an actual smokescreen, not your usual British reliability. Price, $3.6 million. Well, there goes my plan for the next Halloween party.
God damn it!
But if you're into cars, you probably prefer one other movie, Bullitt. Bullitt easily has the greatest car chase ever. A glorious 10 minutes of V8 roaring, tire screeching, muscle car jumping. Heaven. The main actors, Steve McQueen and a 68 Highland Green Ford Mustang fastback, chasing after the bad guys in a Dodge Charger down the streets of San Francisco. That's what wet dreams are made of. Naturally, the fastback model saw a significant sales boost after the movie, most of which ended up being this dark green with black torque thrust wheels. Any other combo is just wrong. And like Aston, Ford too decided to bring their movie star back, except it was back as an inexpensive optional package, rather than something that only Epstein's friends can afford. But hey, that's a good thing. Mustang was always a bit of a blue-collar car anyway. And so, starting with the 4th generation, anyone could have their own Bullitt-Stang too, which, apart from some performance upgrades, comes with the same green paint, the black retro wheels too, and my personal favorite, exhaust tuned to sound closer to the 68 original. Oh yeah. The only question that remains is, which Bullitt is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Next up, we have the fear on wheels herself, the Plymouth Fury, aka Christine. I'll give you a pass if you aren't very familiar with this car. The horror movie that it showed up in wasn't exactly a box office success, but ask those who have seen it if a 58 Fury should be on this list, and they'll all give you one of these. In this movie adaptation of Stephen King's novel, Christine is an evil, bloodthirsty, possessed car that kills everyone who bullies her teenage owner. It's the main villain, as well as the main character, and the production budget just confirms that. This was before all the CGI stuff, so the team needed over 20 Furies for all the stunts and murdering and being on fire, which didn't leave much cash to hire any celebrity actors. If that doesn't tell you who the main star is, I don't know what will. And I know what you're thinking. Why this car? Why a 58 Fury? What's so special about it? As Stephen King explained, he wanted a car that had an evil look to it, but without a legendary status attached to it. He wanted a forgotten car. Well, thanks to Hollywood, the Furious Christine is forgotten no more. And to prove just how strong the Hollywood magic can be, look no further than the Pontiac Aztec. I'm sorry to have to put you through this, but seriously, look at it. How ugly is that? So ugly, in fact, that it failed miserably despite being one of the first and most versatile crossover SUVs to hit this growing market. Not lying here, this was a really good SUV.
He ain't lying.
But that design was simply too hard to overlook. As a result, the Aztec name would only ever get mentioned at the top of the countless ugly car lists, where it would be described as a car for total weirdos, or people who had simply given up on life. And that's why it was cast as the wheels of choice in a certain TV series about failing chemistry teacher who then finds out that he has cancer too. However, over the 5 seasons, the teacher would turn into a ruthless but still cool and likable drug lord who, to keep the suspicions low, would continue hiding behind this lame Aztec mask. I'm talking, of course, about Breaking Bad, the highest-rated TV show ever, whose enormous popularity sparked new interest in this visual vomit on wheels. Suddenly, it was cool to be seen in one, which explains why the value is rising. Hell, even I like it now, and I'm a graphic designer by trade. That I just realized makes me no different than a gay-bashing priest who eats nuts with butts for breakfast. Toasty! Moving on with another Pontiac on this list, the Firebird Trans Am. In case you didn't know, Firebirds and Camaros are pretty much the same thing. Same underneath and the same body too, except for some minor changes. The main difference is that Pontiac was much more luxurious as a brand than Chevy, so it had more leather, more wood, and more price. That plus the fact that GM had given some super crazy engines to Camaros only, and you get this. But then, just as Firebird was starting to catch up with some of the crazier second-generation models of their own, the oil crisis came and took away all the power from the muscle cars. So what do you do with a weak muscle? You give it better handling, a T-top roof, aero kit, crazy color scheme, and a big f***ing flamin' bird on the hood. If it can't be fast, make it look screamin' cool instead. It was this cool factor that made it an ideal choice for a fictional booze smuggler in the smash hit, Smokey and the Bandit. Burning tires, power sliding, jumping over bridges, and outrunning the police. What's there not to love? This newfound popularity doubled the Trans Am sales in the following years until finally the unimaginable happened. Firebird outsold the Camaro for the first time. Well deserved, guys. Well deserved. Now, this list wouldn't be complete without the most overhyped car in existence. Yes, it's the 4th gen Supra, and yes, it is great. Not because it was particularly fast around the track, no, it was too heavy for that sort of thing, but because of the tuning potential of its 2JZ engine.
Some poo's come out!
This unbreakable straight 6 found under the hood was a thing of legends in the drag racing circles, but it was the first Fast and Furious movie that spread the word to everyone else. In it, the main protagonist drives a heavily tuned, nitrous-infused Supra, which would smoke a Ferrari, and then keep up with a monstrous Charger. Instantly, teenagers from all over the world fell in love with it, and when they found out that the real-life Supra can be as impressive, well, that was it. You couldn't praise any car anymore without some insufferable tyke telling you that a tuned Supra is better. Ferrari F40? Nah, bruh, Supra. McLaren F1? Nope, Supra can beat that too. Bugatti? Supra can be everything! Yeah, not really. But what I find most amazing of all is the fact that even after 22 years since the first movie came out, the annoying fanboys are just as numerous as ever. Not gonna lie, they make it very hard to love this car nowadays. Now, before I reveal my number 1, here are some honorable mentions. See if you can guess them. Alright, at number 1, we have the most famous movie car ever, the one, the only, the DeLorean. I've already talked in my previous videos about how bad this car is, so here's a quick recap. The build quality was terrible, it lacked power, and it handled like a rusted shopping cart. But these days, nobody cares about any of that because DeLorean was a star in one of the most beloved movie franchises ever, Back to the Future. It was a goddamn time machine, complete with all kinds of science doodads and bleepity bloops.
If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
It had liquid nitrogen seeping out of it. It was laying a trail of fire after reaching 88 miles per hour, and it was just the coolest thing ever. I'm no marketing expert, but I reckon that this was the best piece of product advertising ever. Sadly, it was just too late. The DeLorean Motor Company went out of business 2 years before the movie came out. If only it had managed to stick around just a little while longer, the money pouring in from fans would have been more than enough to fix any issue this car had. And its daddy, John DeLorean, wouldn't have had to resort to drug smuggling just to keep his company alive. Oh well, in the end, we did get an automotive black swan story of sorts. And that's pretty cool too. Anyway, that's all from me today. I'll see you in the next one. Cut! Hey guys, Stype here from Top Cars Tier.